The games industry's gushing obsession with Hollywood is understandable for a young creative medium, and the love affair between big screen and small has produced a number of tantalising couplings over the years, but sadly, aside from the odd fertile union, these have mainly been of the drunken one-night stand variety, with both parties shuffling off in embarrassed silence the next morning. All those years of kneeling open-mouthed in front of Hollywood's cheesy groin have left a bad taste in the mouth. But whether it's a technology thing, some newfound self-confidence, or just our gag reflex kicking in, the tables appear to be turning. And now it's Hollywood tugging at gaming's flies. Enter Andy Serkis, the man who has literally changed the face of Hollywood, and is now doing the same for games. Ninja Theory's Heavenly Sword is a solid and entertaining, if short-lived, fighting game which grabbed a respectable 7 out of 10 in its Eurogamer review. As fun as it is, it ain't gonna win any awards purely for gameplay. Its main contribution, in fact, to gaming in 2007 is as a cinematic experience, and one which every gamer interested in narrative development really should witness. And that's in no small part thanks to rubber-faced mocap pioneer Andy, dramatic director on the project.
When we met and talked about the possibility of doing it, we sort of said, well, let's treat it as if it's a kind of an interactive movie, basically. So let's set off get the script going very, very early on. Let's develop the characters. You know, we've got wonderful conceptual artwork. You know the look of it. You know what the game, the direction of the game, the roadmap of the game is. But what's the undercurrent? What's the subtext? What's the what's it about, and how's it going to really, if you want to take it into a sort of filmic realm, how's it going to really grab the player in a meaningful way?
However, Andy's been so busy crawling around on all fours pretending to be a monkey that he hasn't had a lot of time for video games. So, project lead Tamim Antoniades gave him a crash course in gaming drama, including Shadow of the Colossus, Resident Evil, Fahrenheit and Silent Hill.
It was actually quite enlightening sitting with Andy playing these games, because things gamers, we take for granted, Andy was completely confounded by. Like, why doesn't that character, express what he's saying or the feelings? He's supposed to be sad. Why doesn't he look sad?
Beautiful girl.
I was quite embarrassed about my game playing as well, because in Shadow of the Colossus I still haven't found any of the monsters.
Yes. You played it for 2 days.
Roaming around on the horse for days. But it's great, nice environments though.
While Andy was involved in shaping the characters, casting the parts and directing the actors, it's in his abilities as a world champion gurner where you really see his impact.
Bastard son.
The plot revolves around Noriko, the warrior heroine and guardian of the Heavenly Sword, her adopted and slightly unhinged companion Kai, and the swaggering, murderous King Bohan who craves the sword's power. Serkis plays Bohan with magnificent pomposity, veering from volcanic rage to theatrical posturing.
I think life's all about having fun. What do you say, eh?
I mean, Bohan is a great fun character to play, and I think he should represent quite a threat, but he's also quite a humorous character too. But there's some really fantastic performances from Stephen Burkoff, who plays the Flying Fox General, and Richard Ridings playing Roach. Just really, it's very much an ensemble piece, and so I hope people are really going to get into all the characters and get a lot out of them.
For the girls, relative unknowns, jobs don't get much plumber than being whisked off to New Zealand and into a motion capture studio with Gollum.
We had some hysterical days when we would be on a treadmill holding wire, because you couldn't have any physical props in the volume, holding big wire representing a sword, just running on these treadmills screaming charge, we had some. And that was when the game came into play. When it stops, we spend a day just sort of standing, just moving very slowly, and getting stuck together.
Yeah,
we had Velcro.
Velcro to keep the dots on the suit. So and there'd be a really delicate moment, and you just stuck to each other.
But you couldn't touch faces because you'd knock everything off, so it was this, and then with this fluoro light on top, so you were just absolutely in your head.
Ladies, behave yourselves. Circus's direction is aided and abetted by a musical score by Nitin Sawhney, a musician, comedian and writer who's worked with tantric sex weirdo Sting and Paul McCartney amongst others, and co-created BBC sketch show Goodness Gracious Me.
From one point of view, you've got to kind of really piece together as you're going along the whole kind of journey, and you have a real sense of trying to bring in a kind of sense of narrative to the music as well as kind of the psychology of the characters, and so the themes are really largely orientated about establishing their identity and really getting into the characterization.
Now, King Kong director and, let's be honest, lookalike Peter Jackson has already waddled into games development, and his longtime collaborator shares this vision, if not all the hair.
I know that he's very passionate about them, and I suppose what I've got from him is this, the idea that storytelling content and the emotional connection that characters can have in a video game is in its infancy and can only get better. And I think the interactivity is obviously the massive link and what is very exciting. So I can only think it's at the beginning of a really great new threshold of acting, a genre of acting as well.